Good morning, kids! For today's lesson, we are going to retell a story and ask simple questions. This is in Module 6 of English 1, Quarter 3. After going through this module, you are expected to retell a story and ask simple questions about the text you listen to. Okay, before we start our lesson, let's do some unlocking of vocabulary. Alamin po natin yung mga salita na nandito sa kahon. Okay, let's start. Frog. Frog. Palaka. Crab. Crab. Alimango. Last. Last. Huli. Huli. Grass. Grass. Damo. Hop. Hop. Pagkandirit o paglukso. Pagkandirit. Walk. Walk. Lakad. Come. Come. Tara. Crib. Crib. Kuna. Grill. Grill. Ihawan. Help. Help. Tulong. Drag. Drag. Paghila o hila. Brag. Brag. Yabang. Pagyayabang. Okay, naalala po ba yung mga salita mga bata? Let's apply that to a story. Let's put a ring later to the letter of the correct answer. Here's the story, kids. Frog the Brog. Frog and Crab are on the grass. Why are you always last, Crab? Said Frog. I cannot hop. I can only walk. Come with me, Crab. Hop with me. Frog hops on the grass to the drum. From the drum to the crib. Frog makes one big hop from the crib to the grill. Crab, Crab, help! I am in the grill. Crab drags Frog from the grill to the grass. Thank you, Crab, said the frog. You're welcome, Frog. Just don't brag. That's the story of Brag the Frog. Now, let's answer the questions. Number 1. Who is Brag? Who is Brag? A. Crab. B. Brat. C. Frog. Okay, Brag is the frog. Number 2. Where did Frog hop on? Where did Frog hop on? A. The grass. B. The grill. C. The trap. Very good. The frog hopped on the grill. Number 3. Where is the crab? Where is the crab? A. On the grass. B. On a trip. C. On the grill. Correct. The crab is on the grass. Number 4. How did crab help frog? How did crab help frog? A. Crab hopped on the drum. B. Crab dragged frog to the grass. C. Crab grabbed the grill. Very good. Crab dragged frog to the grass. And number 5. Why did crab help frog? Why did crab help frog? A. Crab plays the drum. B. Frog is good to all crabs. C. Crab is kind to frog. Excellent! Because C. Crab is kind to frog. Kids, another unlocking of vocabulary. Pet, alaga. Dog, aso. Call, tawag. Curly, kulot. Hair, buhok. Sleeps or sleep, tulog. Bed, higaan. Give, bigay. Rice, kanin. Meat, karne. Clean, malinis. Water, tubig. Drink, inom. Place or play, laro. Garden, halamanan. Morning, umaga. Okay. What will we do? Let's put a check later to the letter of the correct answer. Here's the story. Marimar has a pet dog. She calls him Fulgoso. Fulgoso has a brown curly hair. He sleeps under Marimar's bed. Marimar gives her dog rice and meat. She gives it clean water to drink too. She plays with Fulgoso in the garden every morning. Let's try to answer the questions. Number 1. Who has a pet dog? Who has a pet dog? A. Marimar. B. Corazon. C. Angelica. Okay, Marimar. Number 2. What is the name of the dog? What is the name of the dog? A. Puff. B. Fulgoso. C. Poppy. Correct. Fulgoso. Number 3. Where does Fulgoso sleep? Where does Fulgoso sleep? A. At sala. B. In Marimar's bed. C. Under Marimar's bed. Very good. Letter C. Under Marimar's bed. Now let's discuss retelling. Retelling is a way of telling the story again. It includes the important parts of the story. Retelling, pagkukwentong muli ng napakinggang kwento. Kasama dito ang mga importanteng detalye. Here are the elements of storytelling. Ito po yung mga dapat nating isaalang-alang kapag ikikwento natin muli ang kwento. First, setting. Setting is the time and place the story happened. It answers the questions when and where. Tagpuan. Dito natin malalaman ang oras at lugar na pinangyarihan ng kwento. Sinasagot nito ang tanong na saan at kailan. Next, characters. Characters are the people or animals who act out in the story. It answers the question, who? Tauhan naman po ang tumutukoy sa mga panauhin o gumanap sa kwento. Sumasagot ito sa tanong na, sino? Next, problem. Problem is the difficult situation that the character is having. It answers the questions, what and why. Suliranin, makikita natin dito ang problemang kinahaharap ng tauhan sa kwento. Sumasagot sa tanong na ano at bakit. Next, happenings. Happenings are the events beginning, middle, and in the story. Banghay. Ito po ang mga pangyayari mula sa simula, gitna, at dulo. And lastly, solution. Solution is the way to remove the problem. It answers the question, how? Solusyon, kung paano malulutas ang problema. Sinasagot nito ang tanong na, paano? Naintindihan po ba mga bata? Unlocking of vocabulary. Smart, matalino. Swan, sisne. Went, pumunta. River, ilog. Swam, lumangoy. Riverbank, tabing ilog. Beside, katabi or sa tabi. Want, gusto. Looked, tumingin. Rest, pahinga. Jumped, lumukso. Spread, binuka. Wings, pakpak. Held, kumapit. Saved, naligtas. Offered, inalok. Here's the story, kids. The Smart Swan. One day, Susan the Swan went to the river. She swam and played in the river. She went to the riverbank to rest. There was a big dog beside her. The dog wanted to eat her. She looked at the dog. She was still. Susan jumped into the river. The dog jumped too. Susan swam. The dog could not swim. Susan spread her wings. She offered her wings to the dog. The dog held onto her wings. The dog was saved. Did you understand the story? Let's encircle the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Who went to the river to swim? Who went to the river to swim? A. The dog. B. Susan. C. The ducks. Okay. Susan. Number 2. What did Susan see beside her? What did Susan see beside her? A. A big dog. B. A big log. C. A big bag. Correct. A big dog. Number 3. Why did she go to the riverbank? Why did she go to the riverbank? A. To swim. B. To fall. C. To rest. Very good. To rest. And number 4. What did the dog want to do? What did the dog want to do? A. To swim. B. To eat her. C. To rest with her. Good! The dog want to eat her. Lastly, number 5. Why did Susan spread her wings? Why did Susan spread her wings? A. To get ready to fly. B. To save the dog. And C. To splash water on the dog. Okay, Susan spread her wings to save the dog. Let's answer an activity. Use the words in the word bank to complete each question. Write your answer on the space below. Here are the words in the word bank. Let's read. Who, where, what, why, when, how. These words are for questions. I have already told you about it, right? Okay, let's begin to answer. Number 1. Blank, old are you? Blank, old are you? Very good. How? How old are you? Next, number 2. Blank, do you live? Blank, do you live? Correct. Where? Where? Where do you live? Number 3. Blank is your birthday. Blank is your birthday. Check. When? When is your birthday? Number 4. Blank, are you crying? Blank, are you crying? Why? Why are you crying? Number 5. Blank, do you want to eat for lunch? Blank, do you want to eat for lunch? Yes. What? And lastly, blank is your mother. Blank is your mother. Very good. Who? Who is your mother? Unlocking of vocabulary. Start. Simula. Practice. Magsanay. So, nakita. Begged. Nagmakaawa. Wrote down. Isinulat. Tryouts. Pagsubok. Tried her hardest. Ibinigay lahat ng makakaya. Found out. Nalaman. Made it. Nagawa niya. Here's the story. Making the team. Cheerleading was Anna's favorite. She was walking to the park when she saw a flyer for cheerleading. She wrote down the phone number and ran home. Anna gave her mom the phone number and begged her mom to call them now. When Anna's mom called, she said that the tryouts were in 4 days. Anna ran to her room to start practicing her cheers. 4 days later, she went to the tryouts and tried her hardest. She found out the next day that she made it. Now let's try to assess the story. What happens first? Ano po ang unang nangyari? A. She wrote down the phone number and begged her mom to call them. B. Anna was walking to the park when she saw a flyer for cheerleading. C. She tried her hardest and the next day she made it. And letter D. Anna ran to her room and started practicing her cheers. Very good. Letter B. Anna was walking to the park when she saw a flyer for cheerleading. What happens next? Ano po ang sumunod na nangyari? Okay. Letter A. She wrote down the phone number and begged her mom to call them. What happens after that? Ano po ang sumunod na nangyari pagkatapos nun? Yes, letter D. Anna ran to her room and started practicing her cheers. And lastly, what happens last? Very good. She tried her hardest and the next day, she made it. What did I get? Ano po ang natutunan natin? Retelling. Retelling is a way reader used to think about the selection or story that he or she reads. In retelling a story, we say its important parts in the right order. This helps us understand the story and remember it. There are elements of story retelling that will help us better understand what we are reading. These are the setting, characters, problem, happenings, and the solution. Unlocking of vocabulary, neighbors, magkapit-bahay. Forgot, nakalimutan. Together, magkasama. Weekend, katapusan ng linggo, ito po yung Sabado at Linggo. Sitting, nakaupo. Fly, nagpalipad o lipad. Kites, saranggola. Decide, nagpasya. Race, paligsahan. Side, gilid. Road, sumakay. Game, palaro. Winner, panalo. While, habang. Street, kalye. Hurt, nasaktan. Right, kanan. Leg, binti. Arrived, dumating. Stayed, nanatili. After the story, you will underline the letter of the correct answer. So listen carefully. A kind act. Mike and Ike are neighbors. They are good friends. They go to school together. On weekend, they go to the plaza and fly their kites high up in the sky. They also play on the slide. One day, Ike and Mike decide to have a race. They rode their bikes and started the game. They both tried hard to be the winner. While they were having the race, Ike hurt his right leg. Mike didn't know what happened until he arrived at the finish line. He looked for Ike. He found him sitting on the side of the street. He helped Ike and they went home fast. Mike stayed with his friend until the night. They forgot all about the race they had. Who are good friends? A. Mike and Mike. B. Ike and Mike. And C. Dyke and Ike. Very good. Letter B. Ike and Mike. Next, number 2. What do they do on the weekends? A. Play in the slide. B. Play with their toys. C. Play basketball. Correct. Letter A. Play in the slide. Number 3. Where do they fly their kites? Where do they fly their kites? A. In school. B. In the street. C. In the plaza. Correct. Letter C. In the plaza. Number 4. When do the two friends play together? When do the two friends play together? A. On weekends. B. On school days. C. At night time. Okay. On weekends, letter A. And lastly, number 5, why did Ike not finish the race? A. His bike was destroyed. B. His mom told him to go home. C. He hurt his leg. Very good. Letter C. Our last unlocking of vocabulary for this lesson. Bow, pana. Climb up, umakyat. Wore, isinuot. Suddenly, biglaan. Crow, uwak. Grab, kinuha o dinampot. Fell, nalaglag. Fellow, kapwa-tao. Passing by, dumaan o dumadaan. Heard, narinig. Picked, pinulot. Here's the story. Shallow and her bow. One morning, Shallow climbed up a willow tree. She wore a dress with a yellow bow. Suddenly, a crow grabbed Shallow's body. Her bow fell into a row of roses. A fellow passing by heard Shallow's cry. He picked up Shallow's bow. He climbed up the tree and gave Shallow her bow. He also gave her a beautiful red rose. Let's match column A with the column B. Write the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Character. Who are the characters in the story? A. One morning in a willow tree. B. Shallow and a fellow. C. A fellow climbed up the tree and gave Shallow her bow. D. A crow grabbed Shallow's body. And E. Her bow fell into a row of roses and she cried. Very good. Letter B. Shallow and the fellow are our characters in the story. Number 2. Setting. What is the setting in the story? Very good. It answers the question when and where. And that is letter A. One morning in a willow tree. Number 3. Problem. Correct. Letter E. Her bow fell into a row of roses and she cried. Next, number 4. Event. Correct. Letter D. A crow grabbed Shallow's body. And lastly, the solution. Yes, letter C. A fellow climbed up the tree and gave Shallow her bow. Kids, don't forget to type story at the comment section. Okay?